You know what? The 6 scale collecting game is a very funny hobby because sometimes you have to pass on things that look incredible like this to get things like this and this, which also look incredible. Let's take a look. Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video we got some exciting things to talk about. Now the ones that I'm most hyped about are obviously the Robocop 2 figure from Robocop 2 and the Robocain or Cain figure, the kind of villain from Robocop 2, which I never thought they'd actually do this one. This one here, yeah, didn't take a genius to figure out that they're probably eventually going to go around to Robocop 2, seeing as they've made a lot of stuff from Robocop 1. A few years back they made the Robocop with the jetpack from Robocop 3. But this one here, I thought that this was kind of destined for the prototype graveyard and whatever, because I think as far back as 2012 someone shared images with me. Mark Quinn, actually a collector from Ireland, he shared images with me of this. I think it was a prototype image of this from, I think, far back as 2012. I thought this wouldn't, I never thought this would be made. Now look, I'm gonna save the best and last, so I'm gonna talk about this and this later on, but I gotta talk about this. Now look, if you've been following the channel, whether you're new to the channel, I'm not a gamer. Growing up, I wasn't into video games. I think at one stage I had a PS2 and I played San Andreas, which is an incredible game. I think there was a Batman Begins game that I liked at the time, and there was a Matrix game as well, Enter the Matrix. But it was really like, if I wanted to play a game, it was usually because I really, really liked the movie, for example, The Matrix or Batman Begins, and there was an accompanying game that I thought, you know what, I like The Matrix, I like Batman, I want to give that game a shot. But I'm not a gamer at heart, never have been, never was, never will be, you know, which is unfortunate because sometimes you miss out on some like fantastic gameplay. Some apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. Absolute leaps and bounds in graphics and computer images, and some great stories. I've heard from numerous different people that games like The Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption have storylines so good they rival, or sometimes they're better than modern cinema, you know. So I know I'm missing out of that, but it's just another addiction that I don't want to have, or hobby, should I say, not really addiction. A hobby really, because let's face it, like, it's precious things when it comes to collecting: money, space, and time as well. Like, time is the most precious resource, and I think that if I was to get into gaming, while I would enjoy it, it would take a lot of time away from things that I want to do, like, exercise, gym, mountain biking, traveling, whatever, you know. But like, I appreciate some people are gamers and they're going to absolutely love this. So this is from a game called Death Stranding 2. It's based on the likeness of the actor Norman Reedus. So he's known for Walking Dead, really, and he was in the Ballerina as well. Kind of looks the same all the time. He's kind of got that long, kind of greasy hair, kind of really, really bags under the eyes and stuff like that. But look, I like Walking Dead. At least I did until maybe the season Negan arrived, and maybe a season after that, and then it kind of dwindled for me. But look, the good episodes were fantastic. So with this here, this is a classic case of I pass on a lot of things that I like to get the things I love. I pass on a lot of things that look cool to get the things that look cool that I love. So this is a perfect video to kind of demonstrate that here, because I think this is incredible. I think whether it's the artisan version deluxe or the deluxe, I think the deluxe, one of the deluxe versions is the one to get, because I have another version which is non-artisan regular, then this is non-artisan, so let's say sculpted regular, sculpted deluxe, which comes with everything the artisan version comes with exception of the rooted hair. And again, I know it's like implanted hair, but I'm just going to call it rooted hair to distinguish between sculpted and rooted. So whether you're getting this one or this one, they do look incredible. I'm going to go through this one. I have a price, but it's the Hong Kong price. I have a price for all of these. I'm going to go through the prices here now. So $33.80. So this one, $33.80. So I'll just convert that really, really quickly. So 3,000. So Hong Kong dollars, 3380. So this one here, this is the artisan deluxe version for the Death Stranding 2 Sam Porter Bridges, I believe he's called. That's it's $430. Now that is the, if you walk into secret base price, but realistically with this one, you are gonna, if you're getting it off sites or whatever, there's gonna be a markup, or whoever you buy from, they're a company, they want to make money, they're gonna put some sort of a markup on it if they're a reseller, because otherwise what's the point of them being in business? If you're lucky enough to live in Hong Kong and you can get the secret base and you can just pick this one of these up, happy days. Now just look at the numbers as well. They're limited to 4,000. So this one here, the Artisan Edition Deluxe version 1/6 scale Hot Toys figure of Sam Porter Bridges, based on the likeness of Norman Reedus from the movie Death Stranding 2, limited to 4,000 worldwide, and it is $430 Hong Kong. That's not factoring in, like I said, profit margin of the company or reseller you buy it from or distributor or whatever. It's not factoring in shipping, taxes, the dreaded tariffs, import, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to flick through this because I think this looks amazing. I don't know anything about the game. Jim Collector tried to explain to me, no, in fairness, he did explain, and he explained it very well. And a few other people tried to explain to me before, but the gist of it, what I've been told is, it's kind of like a science fiction Amazon package delivery man. Now, I can nearly hear the gamers who played this game and loved this game getting triggered. That's just the way it was described to me. I have not played the game. Anyway, this looks incredible. It screams out science fiction to me. It's kind of one of those, I think the Colonial Marines have heavy, I think it's undeniable, the Colonial Marines and the Ripley and the Power Loader have had a direct influence on so many decades of science fiction movies from back then, 1986 Aliens to now. What I mean by that is, like, we've seen loads of different kind of like versions of science fiction characters or protagonists or villains with like huge kind of military style guns, whether it's the Colonial Marines or whether it's this guy or the likes of Starship Troopers or Warriors of Future, that one that they did the two figures off there, that Asian movie, Edge of Tomorrow. Mech suits, they're huge now. I mean, again, Warriors of Future, we saw that in Warriors of Future, the kind of mech suits. Even like say Edge of Tomorrow, they're using mech suits, or the Matrix, the third one with the big, I think they're called APCs, they were incredible. So I think those older sci-fi movies have a kind of a lot of modern designs would credit and have been influenced by the likes of Aliens and so on. I'm going to take a look at this. I love the look of this. I don't even know where to start there. The fact that he has this big suit on just looks cool. The fact that some of it's kind of mechanized as well, like kind of, I think he has like armor panels on the side, the left and right thighs, and from the knees and the calves and stuff like that. I don't know. I presume this is it's a battle mode or something he has. I'm not entirely sure. It's covered in different accessories. It reminds me of how, say, Rob Liefeld used to draw the comic accurate Cable in the comic books, minus the tiny feet, of course. With all the pouches, we don't know what's in them. They just look cool. You imagine he has some sort of like trackers or scanners or tech or medicine or magazines or bullets or I don't know, whatever. All the different tubes and stuff hanging off him. The little, I'm going to move on a small bit further there. See, like there's some sort of, I don't know what this like creepy Mr. Bean looking doll that's hanging off his waist there. I have no idea what that is. But even the detail here, can you see this little touch here? That rope, that like looks like a rope that you'd use to belay or rock climb or abseil, and even the way it's like folded in there, that just looks incredible. The weathering, see on his left thigh there, I think it says battle on it. The weathering on that, the kind of like just at the edges where it gets chipped away, that's incredible. I watch a lot of videos of people who make armors, like, you know, screen accurate, whether they're stormtrooper armors or shore trooper or death trooper or whatever. There's a guy on, I think it's called Odd Viking on YouTube, and like incredibly talented guy. Like I think he I'm not sure, is he 3D print stuff, or does he make things out of molds? I'm not sure how he makes them, but he makes loads of different kind of armors for different Star Wars, screen accurate Star Wars armors. He's a 501st member and stuff like that. But he does these whole videos on how to take big kind of plastic containers and paint them and weather them up and add LEDs and stuff to make them look like they've come out of the original trilogy or Rogue One or Andor or whatever, and the weathering process that goes in. So I really appreciate that skill and that attention to detail. So, and then you've seen pouches there on the right kind of thigh there, another kind of pouch there by his kind of like waist section. I believe this kind of amniotic kind of amber looking container contains a baby that's with him. I'm pretty sure I've got that one right, and this is where the baby is. It actually looks like an umbilical cord now that someone has pointed that out to me. You've got a bunch of these cargo containers as well, which I don't know what's in them, but it has been kind of explained to me like a science fiction Amazon delivery guy, so I don't know what precious cargo he's bringing across, but yeah, just love the whole kind of what would you call it, the kind of boiler suit. I know it's maybe boiler suit isn't I didn't want to say onesie, I'm not going to lie, I didn't want to say onesie. Maybe boiler suit is not the correct way to describe it, but it kind of is a boiler suit. And then you have like all these different packages and accessories and different like cords and stuff coming off him, and all the different armor and stuff like that. There's a lot going on. So just even from the side, you can get a good look at the armor on his right leg, on his thigh, the knee, the kind of right calf. That's incredible. Backpack sort of, I see what happens on the backpack. You can put a bunch of those kind of, they look like armored suitcases together, and you can put them on him like that, whereas I think you can clip them onto the sides of him as well. Yeah, so like that looks quite funny. So here you have, he looks like he's just done his Christmas shopping in space or something like that. So you've like 4 different kind of armored suitcases. That's what they look like. These, what would you call them, like cartridges? Not cartridges, there's a word. Storage containers, I suppose. And then you can have them stacked on the back like a backpack as well, and you can mount the blaster, the rifle he has. And of course he's got a little sidearm there on his right hip as well, just to the left there of the armor. Speaking of kind of like mounting accessories on figures, like if you've been following the channel, you know that I love when a figure or character comes with a bunch of different accessories and you're able to display that figure using a bunch of the accessories, but not making it look like you're shoehorning them all in there. Classic example would be Cable from Deadpool 2. You could have him, you could have the vest with all the different, I don't know, is it gun cartridges or knives and the gun cartridges. You could have the knife in the boot. You could have the BFG, him holding the BFG or magnetized to the back. You can have the poncho, the eye lights up. You could have the time travel device on his wrist. You can have the bear. He's got another gun that goes into holster and another rifle. There's a grenade launcher. So that's naturally, that's how he would slide through time, and he's basically a future warrior. And I thought that was cool, that he's ready for battle, and a lot of that stuff then doesn't just end up sitting in the box, which is great, because inevitably it's great that they give you all this stuff, but some of the stuff will sit in the box until you repose or whatever. So just behind me there, just randomly, I've got, that's actually the feral predator from Prey. I'm working on a review at the moment. It's standing in front of Boba Fett there. It's not actually in a shelf. It's standing in front, so it looks like it's bigger than it is, but it's quite big. But the reason this image have reminded me of that is because one of like the small kind of spears he has kind of magnetizes to his lower back, and his I'm not sure what to call it. It's like he has a device that shoots spears. I don't know what the exact term for it is, but that magnetizes to his back as well. And he comes with a load of different accessories. Like at the moment there, in his left hand he's got the shield, in his right hand he's got the complete spear. There's 2 blades coming out of his, it's kind of overkill, 2 blades coming out of his right wrist gauntlet. And then I've got the other stuff magnetized to the back, and that's not to mention the backpack that is installed onto him. So I like that, because a lot of the stuff, less stuff is in the box or in your storage containers or tackle box, however you choose to store your accessories, and more stuff is actually on the figure as it should be, which is great. This is so funny. Literally, he's coming back from his Christmas shopping in space. I'm really hyped about this. I cannot get this. It's just, when it comes to collecting, like for me, when it comes to a lot of things, whether it's like health or exercise, career, relationship, it is about sustainability. And for me in the hobby, like I enjoy the hobby so much and I'm enjoying it for so long that I want to be in the hobby in a year's time, in 5 years time, maybe for the rest of my life in some sort of capacity. So if I don't have some sort of rules, like my triple threat method, I have to love the character, love the source material, love that particular version. Easy example, the Jungle Hunter 2.0 that's coming out. The Predator behind me is the first Predator I have, but I want that Jungle Hunter because I love the source material, the original Predator movie. Just a classic movie, great piece of science fiction. The Jungle Hunter is my favorite design, so I love that version, and I love the character, the Predator. So it's inevitable that I want to pick something up like that, and I have the movie, and I've got it in 4K, as Ian would say. Whereas this looks incredible. It low-key makes me want to go out and play the game, but I've heard that it's a heavy enough game to play, and if you're not like a seasoned gamer, it can be hard to get into. that maybe be worth a comment if you have played this game and you're a seasoned gamer who knows what you're talking about. Let me know what you think of this game. Is it worth going out and buying a, I don't know, is it a PlayStation or whatever? I don't know, is it a PS5 game? I'm not sure what console or format, or is it PC or whatever. But yeah, like, it looks incredible. But it looks incredible to me, besides the likeness to Norman Reedus, which I think they've nailed. And I think the artisan hair, even though, look, I've been on record, I'm not convinced with the artisan hair just yet. The jury's out for me. But the prototype of the artisan hair here looks incredible. Take that out of it. It's the elements, the science fiction elements of this particular piece, which I like. The design, if I saw this on someone's shelf, or if someone was playing the game and I saw this character and this armor and this character design, I'd appreciate the design of it. That's what I'm saying. So the whole jumpsuit look or boiler suit, the kind of part mech suit on the legs, I just think that's very, very cool, in the same way that I thought the Warriors of Future figures were cool, even though I hadn't seen the movie. Just the fact that it comes with a bunch of different accessories, the big blaster and stuff like that, very, like, space trooper type of thing, like, so this is kind of funny though. He looks like he's running through Heathrow or JFK because he's late for his flight. He doesn't want to miss his flight, and he's got a lot of checked luggage, and by the time he gets there, if he does make his flight, they're going to say you're going to have to check that, and he's going to get annoyed. But yeah, we've all been there. So this is him kind of without all the mech stuff on his legs, and he's got the backpack off, and there's no like storage containers and stuff, but there's still a lot going on there. You've got this, I think these triangle things on his chest and his left and right arm, I think you can store the containers on them. I think they can clip on. It's got some sort of please correct me if I'm wrong, but this thing looks like an antenna on his left shoulder that's sticking up there. There's so much going on here. All the different pouches and packages, the holster, and all those different things then I presume they're to mount the containers. The little heart, that must be something in gameplay, I'd imagine. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, because I think here you can see how they're mounting the containers onto some of those triangle supports on his left shoulder, right shoulders, one on his chest, one on his leg. Very interesting. Now here, like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense that I'm hyped about something that I know nothing about. It really I typically don't break rules, and I'm not going to get this, but this looks incredible. That base, it's so simple, just to the rocks, and then I don't know what this is. I know this is USB powered. It does light up, but what that looks like to me, like, I'm a science teacher. I teach science, like kind of basic science, and then kind of higher chemistry and biology. But this looks like a DNA profile. That's what it looks like to me. So, like, if I know there's a crime scene and there's DNA, they have a suspect and there's DNA at the scene, and then they can take a DNA sample and do a DNA profile, and everyone's DNA profile is unique to them as their fingerprint stuff. This is what it looks like. I please let me know in the comment section what this is meant to be. This red kind of glow with all the different kind of lighter dashes and stuff. It looks like a DNA profile to me, but I assume it's not. But if it is, they've bloody nailed that. But this looks incredible. It'd be better if you didn't have the crotch grabber though, and it was magnetic, just to get rid of that. But I mean, the huge rifle, I'm not 100% gone on the color of the rifle. I think that makes it look a bit like I know, is it a Nerf gun or something? One of those, like, when they have these guns and they make them like really, really bright colors to show that they're not actually guns, because you don't want someone going out in public with a gun that looks exactly like a gun, because that could be potentially dangerous and stuff. But it's I don't hate it. I still think it looks cool. It's just I'm maybe not sure about the orange, but I suppose it works with the color palette here. I can't speak highly enough of this, and it's so ironic because I have not played the game. I'm going to go to the end here. I'm going to flick through this because it's going to be a really long video. That's Norman Reedus any day of the week. The hair looks amazing. If it turns out like that, happy days. Like, that's the type of thing now. If it turns out like that, and you're happy enough with the eye position, then I just would not mess with it. It's sitting very nice. So hopefully they keep getting better and better. Hot Toys at their rooted hair, and it gets better. But yeah, I can definitely see the likeness to Norman Reedus. Thing's a really, really strong head sculpt, and LED light up function. LED light up function powered by USB. Highly detailed weapons and accessories. Yeah, that looks very cool. Very cool. And even the weathering on like the kind of little scratches and pitting and everything going on of these storage containers to make them look more weathered and kind of real world in a science fiction type of universe. Backpack with alternative display modes, so you can have it with the backpack off, you can have it with the backpack just on and kind of looks like claps down, then you can have it with the cargo cases stored in it. That's hats off to the attention to detail here. BB pod with interchangeable status. I don't know what that means. That must be something to do with the game, but someone told me that there's a baby inside here or something. Mad. Specially applied UV luminous reflective effect. So that must be like the Black Panther figure from the Black Panther movie, where in the movie his suit charges up and then he can redistribute that energy at will. And I remember with that suit, they had some of this technology in the suit, and when you shined a certain type of light on it, it glowed. It was very, very cool. Yeah, so it has the same kind of thing here. Detachable battle skeleton. Okay, they're calling it a battle skeleton. I'd call it an exoskeleton, but yeah. So exoskeleton, I suppose, the general term for something like that protects someone like that in that science fiction world, that kind of armor, whereas they're saying a battle skeleton. That's just how they're calling it. Fine. Metal collectible card with display case. Okay, so they're doing the cards now. I hope those cards can stand up. That'll be a nice touch. Artisan edition, deluxe exclusive. Okay, now I need to stand corrected. It's not just the wool hair which distinguishes between the artisan edition and the sculpted deluxe. There's some sort of a mask. This looks like kind of a gold skull mask. Seems to be an extra case. You have like what looks like two different tortillas. I have no idea what these things are. Let me know in the comment section. He's holding some sort of gadget there, and then the light up base. Interesting. So I wonder, are they locking that light up base behind the artisan? That's what it seems to be. Now, I'm not going to talk as much about the other two. I'm just going to go to this slide, the equivalent slide on this. So this is the sculpted deluxe version, and I'm just going to go through this. So deluxe version exclusive. No, if I go back here, and I'm just going to make sure I have all this done. So with the artisan, the only difference is the wool hair implantation. So they should have just highlighted that. Whereas if you get the deluxe, you still get this gadget, whatever this is. You still get the LED USB powered base, which is essentially the extra case, which is kind of silvery grey and red, and what looks to me like some sort of a tortilla. Don't have a clue what that is. But then if you get this version, you just get a regular boring base, no light up base. You don't get the extra case and all that other gadgets. If you're a 6-scale collector and you're into this game, that right there, it's like Christmas time. So I've got the pass. It looks so cool though. Right, so moving on. This is exciting. This is exciting because it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's not Star Wars. It is it's an IP that this movie came out in 1990. I mean, the first one came out in 1987, the second one came out in 1990, the third one, no one cares when it came out because it's shit. Good figure though. I've been told I heard the jetpack is great. Now, what's interesting about this straight away, my one critique on this, that mouth plate is not Peter Weller. Now, Peter Weller played Robocop in the 1987 first movie. In the sequel, Robocop 2, this should be Peter Weller. One of the things, I've got the original Hot Toys, the die-cast one that comes with the mechanical chair docking station from the 1987 movie, the first one. And one of the things, there's so much about that figure that's incredible. The fact that it's die-cast, the fact that it has battle-damaged clean and swap out parts, the fact that it has multiple mouth plates, the fact that it comes with the chair, the fact that it has a die-cast gun and then a regular gun. But one of the things that stands out is that even though there's no fully unmasked sculpt, there's just, I think, 3 different mouth plates. They do a great job of capturing Peter Weller's likeness with just his mouth. He also played Robocop in Robocop 2. He did not play Robocop in Robocop 3. He was a different actor. Now, interestingly, when the Robocop 3 promotional images went up for pre-order, I looked at it and I went, and even though the figure looked good, I went, I wasn't sold on the promotional images that the mouth plates were Peter Weller. I was like, that doesn't look like Peter Weller. And then when it came out, just to be absolutely clear, the Robocop 3 figure, from what I've heard and what I've told and what I've seen, I believe they are Peter Weller mouth plates, when it shouldn't be because it's the other guy. This here, though, I don't see Peter Weller in this mouth plate. And it's funny because later on you see there's an unmasked sculpt where they show you it is Peter Weller. Now I'm guessing maybe this is some sort of a bit of Photoshop trickery or render, and when they do release it, it will be Peter Weller. Why wouldn't it be? So if I just look straight away at everything that comes up. By the way, quick little price check on this because I want to give you a kind of a price so you know what you to expect. This is actually reasonable. So it's $18.80. So okay, $18.80. Where's my, just getting my translation app here. So $18.80, and that would be $240. Now that's the base price. That's, you're walking into secret base, literally the base price in two ways. You're walking in, you're buying it, it's $240. If it's sideshow, you can add on another 30%, your shipping, your tax, your customs, you know the drill. Okay, I'm not going to say that anymore. That's the base price. So north of $300 what you're expecting. So what does it come with? If you get the special edition, it comes with the metal collectible card with display case. I don't think people really care about this. They didn't care about the coins. I think it's a nice touch. I would prefer the metal collectible card with the case as opposed to the coin, especially if you can stand up that card, because it'd be nice having that that metal the card in the display case right in front of this Robocop or right in front of the Cain or whatever. I think it's a nice touch. But if push comes to shove, and there's two different versions, you can get this or you can get this with a card, but let's say the one without the card is $50 cheaper, that's a no-brainer. Don't need the card that much. So articulated holster with, just to be clear, so there'll be an option to get this with or without the card. I just want to make sure on that. Yeah, because this is without the card, this is with the card, they're the exact same thing. The card is the only difference. They may even be the same price, I'm not sure. So articulated holster with die-cast pistol. Now the one that I have downstairs had the die-cast pistol, which I just store in the holster just so I know where it is. But the other gun that I put in his hand is non-die-cast because, interestingly, the Robocop comes with articulated fingers, but there's no gun holding hand, the one that I had. So this here might be the same, not sure. So it comes with a die-cast holster, an articulated holster with a die-cast pistol. It doesn't explicitly say that it comes with a non-die-cast plastic gun. Maybe it will, maybe that's what they're trying to show this image in the middle. Interchangeable battle damaged helmet and armor. I love that. I love it, and scene specific as well. I believe it's been a while since I've watched this movie. I think I'm going to rewatch it today. This particular kind of almost like a Harry Potter S or Z, or it's more like an S-shaped battle damage on his visor. That there is specific to Robocop 2 from what I remember. So interchangeable battle damaged helmet and armor. So you've got a chest plate and you've got the helmet as well. Kind of like the one that I have downstairs, only the one that I have downstairs, while it does have swap out battle damage parts, and again, it's the chest armor and the helmet. It's more, that battle damage is more specific to Robocop 1, which makes sense. Interestingly, I think the special edition exclusive for the Robocop 3 was a battle damaged chest plate, but you couldn't get a battle damaged helmet part for it, I believe. So you've got the Cain brain there, Cain, so the villain, who is basically, spoilers, well, the movie came out in 1990, so that's what, 35 years ago? So he's kind of like this kind of drug dealer, drug user, and he has this this drug called, I think it's called Nuke, which they inject into their necks or something. But this guy dies, and in kind of like Robocop fashion, they put him into this robot, which is now called Cain, which we're going to look at because they've done that, which is mind-blowing. But they put him in, he's not a good candidate for this because, he's a psychopath. So you have all these swap out hands. You've got the huge rifle. I think this is the same rifle they use in Robocop 1. Clarence Boddiker's gang and all that, and I believe it's the same. It looks like the same style. Let me know if there is a difference there. It has the small OCP base. I want to zoom in on this because I couldn't make out what this was. I'm struggling to make out. See the bottom left corner here? So you have the hands, and then to the left, there's two things. I think the thing immediately to the left that's a tube of nuke that gets inserted into the Cain figure, I believe. But I cannot see. He seems to be holding something here. It's like I'm looking at the not the so you can see they swap out hands, and then there's a picture on the left which we've established is the Cain tube, and then the next thing he's holding something, but I can't make out what it is. Is that the actual nuke? I think they're the little things. I think if I remember how they took the nuke was it came in like a box, something they pulled off these little strips and injected it or something like that. I think that's what that might be. Okay, now those faceplates. Sorry, I missed one. The big things here. You've got an unmasked Peter Weller head sculpt, which looks great. It doesn't say anything about separate rolling eyeballs function. And these three faceplates, though, they don't look like Peter Weller to me. That is interesting. Curious to know what the other collectors in the community will say about that. I'm loving the blue on this, because I remember in mind's eye anyway, the first movie, it was more a lighter silver. There was definitely hints of blue, and depending on the way the light caught it, was kind of blue and bits of maybe purple or pink, but it was primarily a light silvery blue. Whereas this one had more of I think the bluish tint was a lot more prominent. I'm not seeing Peter Weller in any of those interchangeable sculpts, which is strange because I do see Peter Weller in the actual unmasked sculpt. So you've got that brain of Cain, which is so weird. I mean, yeah, I can see Peter Weller here. That's no problem, but just the faceplates. That is odd. Not a deal breaker, just odd. Yeah, so you got the battle damage, you got Cain brain. You've got the two different types, the rifle and the gun. I love that pose. I love that. That's yeah, when I think of like Robocop 2, I think that kind of pose, or him getting out of the car, which I believe the movie poster of him getting out of the car was that, I think that was the first one. Yeah, it was the first one. I always thought that was like a still from the movie or like a I don't know, a cutscene or whatever. I think it's actually a painting. I think it's actually one of, there was a lot of the movie posters that we had grown up in the 80s and 90s. They're actually paintings, but it was like an artist painting, which just looks like a still from the movie. It just looks so real. Yeah, so look, this is really exciting. I mean, this is classic sci-fi, kind of practical effects, all that kind of stuff. Really violent, dark movie. Very violent, very dark. But yeah, this has to come home. I want this to pair with Cain, and then the other one I'll have basically in the chair, or rotating it between movie icons display, because it's how I envision this. I'm going to get cases from the other side of the room, and a lot of the kind of stuff like the 80s and 90s science fiction will probably have their own section, the likes of Alien, Predator, Terminator, Robocop, and I want to give enough space that I can display all that stuff. But downstairs is like this movie icons display, which I'm really proud of, and it's beautiful. It's at the moment downstairs you have. I might do a separate video on that, but at the moment I've got 1989 Batman, Keaton and Nicholson, so Batman and Joker. Then underneath that, then I've got the Man of Steel, BVS Henry Cavill, Superman, and then I'm not a big BVS fan. I'm a big, I really like Man of Steel. Aspects of BVS I like, but I don't think it's a great movie. But that figure's incredible, and Henry Cavill's my Superman. Then I've got the Paul Atreides Dune, which looks phenomenal. And again, that's just the idea with the movie icons displays, that anyone, almost regardless of age, would be able to come in and go, oh, that's Batman. Oh, that's Vader. That's Terminator. That's Robocop. So yeah, like I said, so I've got Batman, Joker from the 1989 movie. I've got Paul Atreides from Dune, which that would probably be one where people be like, oh, who's that guy? But a movie fan's going to be, he's a movie icon. It's just kind of a newer movie. The Robocop from the 1987 movie, the Terminator 2 DX13, and I'm getting the new one there as well. What am I missing? Yeah, the BVS Superman, and then Deadpool and Wolverine. And the Wolverine is the 1973 version, so that will definitely be replaced by the yellow suit Wolverine. But yeah, so this would go here with Cain in like the 80s and 90s sci-fi section, and then I could still keep the Robocop downstairs, because I think the vast majority of people, regardless of age, would go and go, yeah, that's Terminator, that's Robocop, whatever. Anyway, it's movie icons display. I'm going to be looking at 90% of the time. So this came out of nowhere. This Cain out of nowhere. I'm here all day. So this is just like, I didn't see this coming. I'm going to get the price for you really quickly before I move on. Just give you quick thoughts on this. This is expensive. $3,380. Well, all these things are expensive. This is particularly expensive. It's a big boy. It's probably going to be die-cast parts, I imagine. $3,380. This is my first time looking at them on a big screen. I had a quick look at my phone earlier on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to looking at this. So 3,380 Hong Kong dollars. That's not US or Euro. In US, that's $430. In Euro, that's coming up on 370 Euro. That's not including the profit that Sideshow or Toys Buying Agent or Lion Rock Toys or 1/6 Kit or whoever you buy from is going to make, because their businesses, their distributors, their resellers, they're going to want to take a cut. It's inevitable. Why else would they do it? They're not going to do it for the goodness of their health. So that's 430 is the base price. If you walk into Secret Base, which the vast majority of watching this video, people are watching video, don't live there and they don't have access to that. So you can probably tack on another 30%, and then whatever shipping, whatever taxes, sales tax, import tax, customs, tariff, call them what you want. It's extra money you don't want to be paying off. But yeah, this one, you're going to have to, the pennies will count, I think, when you're trying to track this down. Maybe you're an avid Sideshow buyer, customer, and you have a bunch of points built up. Maybe you've got 100 or 200 plus points or dollars worth of Sideshow points. Maybe this one you're going to use this to take the hit in this. Maybe you're going to break this up over payment plans. Maybe you're going to do that PayPal, there's a PayPal option. You can pay for something, break it up into thirds. Maybe you're going to take advantage of that new Sideshow system where you can pay off a little bit. You can just randomly go into your order, click in and go, I'm going to pay off €50 or $50 here and there. Or maybe you're like me, you're going to go, right, I want to get free worldwide shipping because that will cut the cost, and I need to buy it from a Hong Kong based reseller, a trusted Hong Kong based reseller. Look, buy whomever you want, do your own research, don't go, make sure you're comfortable from who you're buying from, because like it's yeah, look, people play the blame game a lot. Like, I mean, I buy from Lion Rock Toys, and I, like, full disclaimer, like, I buy from them because they give me free worldwide shipping. Well, in fairness now, their website, everything's free worldwide shipping, like 1/6 Kit. But I have free worldwide shipping from them. I don't get stung for customs, which is a huge thing for me. And they give me more competitive prices because I basically get a discount. I still have to pay for them, but I do reviews, so I get a discount. So fair is fair. So this here, 430 is the base price. Let me see. If it's 430, Sideshow's, was it another 30%? I'm just going to say out the door on Sideshow, you're probably looking $550 if you're in the States, I'd say. Like, I can't imagine if you're living stateside and you're buying from Sideshow that you're getting this for under $500. Because Sideshow wants their cut, the shipping, taxes, whatever. Okay, let's take a look at everything comes with. First of all, there's two different versions of this. There's the special edition, which comes with the metal card. So this is the special edition exclusive metal collectible card with display case. I'd imagine they're going to be this. I don't know. Are they going to be the same price or not? I don't know. So the only difference is there's a metal card, doesn't come with this one, and a metal card comes with this one. Okay, what else? Robocain 1/6 scale collectible figure. Interchangeable head with light up function. That is hilarious. I'm not going to lie. Like, Cain is not my favorite robot design. But this screams 80s and 90s. So this is actually 1990. Sci-fi. Practical effects. I think maybe why a lot of reason I never really, I don't think it's the coolest design I've ever seen. I think it was always a bit top heavy. I prefer the design of Ed 209. Ed 209, slick design, like a walking tank. Love that. This one here, it's cool, but it's a bit awkward because it reminds you of like a bodybuilder who's kind of skipped leg day and they're really big up around the chest and the traps and the shoulders, but they've skipped leg day. So I think maybe one of the reasons why I'm not 100% sold on Cain is because if I remember, like the effects weren't all the way there back then. Some of the effects don't necessarily hold up. Some of them look great. So it's a combination of the character design itself, robot design, and the maybe limitations of the special effects that they had at their disposal back then. Now, with that being said, I do still like the design. It's just not my favorite. You know, Ed209 over this any day of the week. But like, this is, who am I kidding? This is coming home. Like, how often do they do this? Like, again, I'm like a broken record. Not Marvel, not Star Wars, not DC. Okay? It's not even this decade. It's not current. You're going back 35 years. Like, that's great that they're doing this stuff. In the same way that they're great that they're doing the Death Stranding 2 stuff for the people that are into it. Right, so let's zoom in on some of this stuff. Interchangeable head with light up function. So you got the regular armored version that kind of like, almost like, it's like a triangle that comes to a point, almost like the bottom of Optimus Prime's mouth. Still image from the movie Robocop 2. That's hilarious. So that's a bit when so obviously Cain dies. They take his brain, they put it into this cyborg, and then his consciousness, or part of his consciousness, is in this particular cyborg. But of course, Cain's a psychopath, so not everything goes according to plan. He is not the law enforcement robot that they hoped he'd be, and he goes psycho, and Robocop has to come in and kind of like defeat him. But at one point, he meets his girlfriend, and Cain his girlfriend's kind of recognizes that, okay, this is Cain's consciousness or whatever, and to kind of show his girlfriend that he is there, he shows her this screen. This is so messed up. And on the screen is a very, very poor, digital render of him, which doesn't really look like him. And it's quite funny. And it's just like one of those effects, which is, there's a certain charm to it. But I'm really, really glad that you can swap out the armored head for that screen. And I believe that lights up. Interchangeable head with light up function. Doesn't say anything about USB now, but I might actually read the description. Okay, so then you've got this kind of shoulder. Is this a shoulder cannon or shoulder rockets? I'm going to go back and rewatch this. And then on the left arm, you do have a kind of a rotating kind of minigun there. And then I'm not sure what this was. Did he use this kind of claw to kind of punch and kind of damage Robocop or whatever? You've got the kind of, I love the like kind of almost like radiation symbol there. I don't even know what's going on in the back of this because it's so detailed with all the little joints and pistons and wires. I mean, hats off to them. Like, and even like with that, the paint apps and the weathering, like it does look like bet up and scratched and dirty and stuff like that. Probably more so than it actually is, because I think it was a kind of a relatively new robot that they inserted his brain into. But it's, I suppose it gets messed up throughout the movie. Yeah, you can see that minigun there again. And just looking at all the different pistons and kind of metallic bars and pieces of metal and wires, and they've done a great job. And is that like a mobile phone he has? I need to watch this movie again. In fairness, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I cannot believe they've done this. This, surely to God, they're going to give us a Ripley from Aliens, maybe even the power loader again. Okay, interchangeable head with light up function. Grant. Still image from the movie Robocop 2. 2 styles of mechanical arms display. So you can have them split out so it looks like he has 4 arms, or you can have them together so it's just 2. Okay, look at all the little details and little marks and the kind of red marks there on the helmet itself. You can really see all the weathering in the paint applications. It's like textured there around the radiation symbol, the kind of yellow and black radiation symbol. You got this gun, of course, that pops up. Okay. Openable hatch door on chest. Insertable nuke canister included in the MMS 827D74. So just in case you're new, MMS is Movie Masterpiece Series. So all these Hot Toys, they have a code. Maybe it's MMS, Movie Masterpiece Series, or TMS, Television Masterpiece Series, or VGM, Video Game Masterpiece line. And then, of course, you've got the Sophie, and then you've got the Hono line. So the D74 would mean diecast 74. So I presume they're talking about this insertable nuke canister included in the MMS 827 would be Robocop that we've just talked about, and that can be placed into him. So he actually, I think in the movie, like they they have this canister, and the claws start clipping because he really wants this canister. I think he was a drug addict when he was alive, and he still wants this nuke stuff when he's not alive. So that's cool that they included that, but it kind of makes you want to get the other one. They look great together. That's some size difference, 40 centimeters. I mean, the feral predator there, I believe, is 36 centimeters. And that's pretty tall. It would still fit inside the Blaleeden, and I believe inside, I think it will, barely. I haven't actually tried it yet. I'm in the process of reviewing, but yeah, so this is 40 centimeters tall, like it's nearly half a meter. This thing is huge. And what I like about this is, I remember when I first saw the Robert Pattinson The Batman. Because the movie is so dark and he's moving so quick, because the action scenes, in fairness, the choreography for the actions, it's really, really quick. It's hard to actually see and appreciate the details on the suit. But then when Hot Toys came out, and of course InArt as well, did the suit, and they put the promotional images up, the figure went up for pre-order, you could really study the suit and see all the details on it. This kind of reminds me of that, because I found like this guy moves a lot in the movie. And then, of course, there would be some limitations with the effects back then. But it's nice to see it there, a picture of it, showing all the details and the intricacies of this particular design. It makes me appreciate it more, not only the character design from the movie and the practical effects of the movie, but the effort that Hot Toys have gone into. That looks incredible. Yeah, in fairness, like, they've done a great job on this. It's going to be huge. Yeah, so look, we had about a month there when nothing was happening, and those periods are great in this hobby because you can just, you know, put some money aside, save, budget, and then when things drop like this that you particularly like, you can splurge. So yeah, look, that's a long video, folks, but I really enjoyed that one. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking up any of these or not. Let me know what you think of them, even if you're not. By the way, we're 34 subs away from 5,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone out there that's ever taken time to watch any of the videos, like any of the videos, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, leave a comment, ask me on their live stream, engage in the live stream, come on as a guest on my live stream, all that kind of stuff. So much appreciated. And yeah, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, if you want to hit that sub button and get your entire family to sub as well, just to get the subs up to 5,000, it'd be greatly appreciated. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I recently hit 2,000 followers, so thank you very much. And yeah, we're out of here. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.